The most important KPIs for wholesaling real estate. Guys, it's Rick Ginn with Flip with Rick. I'm going to go over the KPIs you need to pay attention to in your wholesaling business. But before we get started, you guys know what to do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and share this video with anyone that you think would benefit from it. So KPIs, what is it and why is it important to me? KPI is just an acronym for key performance indicators. And all businesses have them in some capacity, some shape, and some form. So what you need to learn is which ones are most important for you to gauge how your business is doing. So keep in mind, KPIs are going to help us monitor when we put out our marketing that we're actually getting a good return on our marketing, that we're actually getting good leads in the pipeline, and we're in the right area. And this will allow you to either expand your marketing, maybe switch another market. Because guys, in wholesaling, when you market, nothing's guaranteed. So you have to have key KPIs to make sure you point in the right direction. So let's go ahead and get into it. So by no way, shape, or form do I have every KPI that you need. And the more investors you talk to, the more KPIs you'll find they do. Some people have as many as 30 and 40 KPIs, but what I find, if you can drill it down to really the top 4 KPIs to help manage your business. And KPIs is just data. So when you get a lead, you basically tickle a file, it winds up being a stat, and the total number of leads you get all the way down to the point you flip the contract, that's what your KPI does. Having 30 KPIs when you're starting out wholesaling, I do not recommend doing that. So let's simplify it. So the first thing you want to know is the number of marketing pieces you put out. So let me give you an example. If you're doing texting, if you're sending out 2,000 texts, you have a total campaign of 2,000. So when I run those texts, the next key piece of information past the number of marketing, and obviously how much you spent for that, that's part of your budgeting, is the number of first contacts. So the number of first contacts will tell you if your marketing's working. So many times, sometimes we overlook a phone number, something gets messed up. This is your time to address that situation. So the first contact is when your text or your cold call comes in, a direct mail campaign. That is the first contact. That will tell you that your marketing campaign's working and it's important. Now, that stat is not everything. Honest with you, a lot of people overanalyze this stat. So say you had a direct mail campaign, that would, if you got 30 phone calls, then they go, well, I got 30 first contacts. It just means you have the right phone number and you ideally have the right list. But past that is you have to dig deeper in the KPIs. So we have the number of marketing pieces and the amount you spent, the number of first contacts. The next most important KPI is that first contact to convert them to a lead. Now, understanding a first contact, a lot of people are going to tell you, get me off your list. I'm not interested in selling. I don't like you, screw you. That doesn't necessarily mean you're reaching the right people. So it just says your phone's working and your marketing's working. So a first contact where they say, hey, Rick, I want to work with you. I definitely want to sell the house. I have some issues with it. And they're a motivated seller. I have a motivated house. Then they slide down to my lead. So it's important. So you have a first contact, then you have the lead. And then the next one we're going to dive into is once we've qualified them as a lead, the next key KPI is setting the appointment. Now, if you're working in a virtual market, you can set an appointment over the phone. If you're working in a local market, you can set it for a physical appointment. It doesn't matter. As you go down your KPIs, the order of importance increases with each level, and it gets exponential. And as you see, so say you started out with 30 leads out of those, and then out of the leads, you had 15 appointments, and then the next one's the natural point is when you write a contract with them, meaning now you're really close, you're writing a contract, maybe they're volleying it back and forth. So now you're at 15, maybe you wind up writing 7 or 8 contracts on that. And then if you want, you can do contracts written. If you want to go a sub one, you can do contracts accepted and mutually executed. It means you have a deal. And then the final KPI stat, which to me is the most important, is deals. Does it turn into a deal? Do you actually take the cash from the deal and turn it into a profit for your company? And that's the order of importance I do the KPIs in. So you're going to start from your total marketing and your budget, first contact. From there, you're going to go to a lead. From a lead, they go to an appointment. From an appointment, they go to a contract. From a contract, they can go to a subcategory of an executed contract, and then you have a closed deal. That's it, guys. Those are the KPIs I like to use in my business. And here's one key differentiator. If you're going to use a phone number with any type of marketing leads you do, meaning obviously text, voicemail, cold calling, and definitely direct mail, make sure you segment your phones for each particular market. That way you can manage the initial first contact automatically through your CRM or CallRail or whatever service you use Vumber, and that's automatic, and you can easily export that data and put it in a spreadsheet and keep track of it. I find so many people have these, like, so many KPIs. So if you're just going to go off, let's do the first contact KPI, which a lot of people do it as like initial phone calls off direct mail, or maybe even a response on initial text, it can mislead you. So if you go, oh my God, the phones blew up today, or we got like 50% response rate on the text, it doesn't tell you enough. You're going to have to go further in that. It's a good starting point, but what happens is a lot of these are, tire kickers, take me off your list. I'm giving you basically 6 KPIs. You can narrow it down to 4. You'll be fine with that. So the key is to make sure your marketing funnel is churning into deals and the real profit. So we talked about first contacts. If I had 300 first contacts and I had 10 appointments, 5 contracts written, and I only got 1 deal for $10,000, or say I got 5 initial contacts, maybe it was a probate list, and I wound up getting 2 appointments and maybe I got 1 deal and it made me 30 or 40K, which one's more effective in your eyes? So part of the KPI data is going to allow you to analyze if your lists are working, and it'll help you dial in. And a lot of times what I do, here's a little secret on your KPIs: when you get all the numbers in, and definitely after you have a signed contract, and definitely after you have a closed deal, I like to go back, and some people call it interviewing the seller. I call it interrogating, and I pound them with as many questions as I can, because they're your customer. They're going to tell you, hey, this is, all these people were sending me these letters, and they'll hand them to you, which is really, really cool. And you can go through and basically ask them, why did you contact me? What did you feel? And a lot of times they'll tell me, hey, Rick, when we called you, someone was engaged with us on the second ring. They were talking to us, and everybody else, we had to leave a message, or they had to get to a customer service rep or an acquisition guy or gal they told me about, and you just made the process simple. And so what I do is I take that information back and I share it with my team. I share it with everybody I work with. And that's what KPIs will allow you to do. So many people start with the first KPI, like the first contact, phones are blowing up. Guys, you got to go a little bit further in that to really find out. But what I don't want you to do is overcomplicate this and have 30 or 40 KPIs. Remember, if you segment your phone numbers, it's easy to manage the data. You don't have to be a statistician, but it's really important to know where everything's coming from. And then when you get down to your final deals, you can take the number of marketing pieces you have, and you can take that total budget, and if you want to divide it, say you got 3 deals out of that campaign, then that's your cost to acquire a deal. And your job from there is to use the KPIs you feel were most helpful to your business. Remember, what I use might be a little bit different than you, but remember, I've been doing this 18 years. I'm telling you, do not overcomplicate your KPIs, because you can ask for whatever data you want. The most important data is the stuff that helps you churn a profit in your business. And you have to go from the point where the customer reaches out to you getting the final deal. So guys, it doesn't matter if you do 15 deals a month or 1 deal a month. What matters is you get better each month you progress in this business and your wholesaling business. And that's what I want you to do with this information. Because listen, If you just get one deal and it makes you an extra 10, 20 or 30K, then that's all that matters to me. So many people that keep this information so secret. I'm telling you, there's 5 or 6 KPIs that really matter. Company where they overanalyze reports. We didn't get out of that business to go into business to overanalyze. We need to get data as fast as we can so we can get better at what we do. But guys, I would love to hear your feedback. Tell me what kind of KPIs you guys are using, which ones you're following. Do you have too many, or do you have too little, or do you not even follow KPIs? I strongly suggest you get on a program to get KPIs. Use my cheat sheet I just shared with you, the 6 KPIs that I use in my business. I've gone as many as 15, 20, but then you start analyzing stats, and then you have to question, are we just getting busy work, or are we actually making money and having fun in what we're doing? So share with me your thoughts and comments on KPIs. Remember, KPIs, key performance indicators. I would love to hear the feedback on it. And do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share this video with someone that you think is, maybe they're over KPIing it. Maybe they're not doing any KPIs, but you got to have something to manage your business. And the goal of being a wholesaler is get a little bit better each month. Incrementally, you'll build it up to where your list becomes so good and your staff comes so good at answering on the phone. I answered the phones all by myself my first really 6-7 years. And the only way I did that is I had to share the data. But as you get more people in your company, and maybe you bring in a partner, a spouse, or your son or someone like that, then you have to write down data so you can share the information. So guys, I hope this KPI helps you out. Go ahead and get your KPIs going now, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again, guys. This is Rick with Flip with Rick.